Hey trainers, it's Professor Pokemon, aka Alakaham, and I am here enjoying spending a lovely day in the park playing some Pokemon Go, and I decided to work on one of the videos here to bring y'all some more Pokemon video magic. This time I am trying to showcase some players from the Master League, so you can see the team on the screen, Ho-Oh with Dialga, and then of course I have tried to add in a new player for me, Garchomp. And this will be the first time that I have had a Garchomp with 2 charge moves, so this is going to be a fun set for me. I ended up only getting to record 4 of these matches, but here we are with the first one. And you can see that I did not have a great start. Ho-Oh against Kyogre is not an excellent beginning, so I switched out into Dialga, and then ended up hitting a counter with a superpower Snorlax. Was able to get a shield, so that's positive. Decided to shield up once against the Kyogre and then go for the Brave Bird, hoping that I could take the next shield and then try to sweep in-game with Garchomp. But it didn't quite work out that way because I over-tapped, and that meant that the Kyogre got to its next Surf attack before I could actually launch that Brave Bird. So we're more or less dead in the water now. They are going to get to their next charge move before we can, and Kyogre is going to be doing lots of damage to something like Garchomp. So I decided to go ahead and make a switch, putting Dialga on the lead. This isn't exactly how I like to start most of my videos, but I think you'll see it is possible with small changes like the arrangement and order of the team. You can come back and have a really good set. Okay, so this time we're picking up a much better lead. Dialga is going to do lots and lots of damage against Mewtwo, and then just take resisted damage from Psystrike. So even though Dragon Breath is just doing neutral damage and Iron Head would do neutral damage, Mewtwo is fairly glassy and it cannot take all that much damage from other Pokemon. I did decide to shield there because I wanted to preserve some health on Dialga, and then I switched into Ho-Oh before the charge move. I did this for a couple of reasons. One was so that I could soak up the Psystrike on Ho-Oh, and secondly is so that Ho-Oh could go ahead and get ahead on energy. That meant that we were able to launch the Brave Bird, do lots of damage there to the Kyogre, and now we can come in with Dialga and launch that Iron Head. Of course, as we saw in the last match, Kyogre can be a problem for this particular team, but if I can lock it into a match with Dialga, we can definitely pull this off. So now I am hoping to use Garchomp to farm down, start loading up on energy, and hopefully sweeping endgame. They are able to, so the Kyogre goes down, they switch into Groudon. Groudon is a really great player. If it hits us with Earthquake, that's going to be really problematic. But they went ahead and just quit the match there, so that's all right. Good game, and I'm happy that we were able to pull that one off. Given that I was able to be fairly successful putting Dialga on the lead in the last match, I decided to just go ahead and stick with that. And again, we pick up a positive lead here. Dialga versus Dragonite, you love to see it. Dragonite is just doing neutral damage, whereas Dialga is doing super effective damage. And now, being that they have swapped into a Steel type, we can go ahead and work in Ho-Oh. Ho-Oh is very vulnerable to Rock Slide, so I decided to shield once. It can take 1 Rock Slide, and my idea here was to just go ahead and try to get the shield. Okay, so I did get the shield, and we did significant chip damage to their Melmetal. They decided to make a switch, and that means that they are going to be locked into whatever we happen to switch into as well. I decided to shield here because I couldn't remember how much energy they had built up on the Dragonite, and I didn't want to get hit with a Hurricane. So we were able to farm down. We've aligned everything in the way that we wanted to, and I made an immediate swap into Garchomp. They still had some time left on the switch clock, so that meant we had enough energy to go ahead and get to that Earthquake, which was great. Now with Mewtwo, of course, speed is going to be really, really important, and this was a Shadow Mewtwo. So we landed the Outrage, and then I immediately swapped to try and soak energy onto the Dialga. You could see how much damage that did. Even resisted damage from a Shadow Psystrike was doing just enormous chunks of HP. It fainted out our Dialga, and we still had, 35% health or whatever. So that was very intense. I'm very glad that we were able to land that sack swap. Without it, we probably would have lost that match. And now we're going to go into the final round that I recorded for this set in the Open Master League. My opponent's team was pretty spicy. This is pretty fun. So we hit a Chandelure on the lead, and then I tried to switch into Ho-Oh to catch what I hoped would be Flame Charge instead of Shadow Ball, and indeed it was Flame Charge. Another interesting pick, they have a Swampert, and usually you see Swampert in the Premier Cup rather than the Master League Open, so this was kind of interesting to see that there. They went ahead and took the attack, so that Brave Bird really, really chunked their health. So at this point, I don't care if the Ho-Oh goes down, we can finish off that Swampert, no problem. They come back in with the Chandelure, probably looking to go ahead and chunk damage with their Incinerate, plus land another Flame Charge. I did not want them to land that Flame Charge because we still have a decent amount of health on Dialga. So I decided to swap into Garchomp, farm down, start getting ahead on energy, and they have a Giratina Altered in the back. Now this could be really dangerous depending on how things play out, but they decided to let the first attack through. So I landed that Outrage and did enormous damage. You'll love to see it. It is fantastic. They were able to land a Shadow Ball, but that's fine by me because it means they're energy dry when I bring in Dialga, and of course using the super effective damage from that Dragon Breath, we are able to farm down the Giratina. So I did end up winning 4 out of 5 matches with that particular set. It was definitely a fun group of Pokemon to use. I've never had a Garchomp with 2 charge moves, so that was fun. It worked out nicely as a closer. And then I think Ho-Oh is a really great Pokemon that's fairly underrated. I saw it a lot last season, but not so much this season in the Open Master League, but I definitely think it has a lot of value. In any case, I hope that you've enjoyed the video. If you feel like sharing teams that have been successful for you in the Master League Open, please feel free to share that in the comments, and I will talk to you next time, trainers.